Hello Markham Gardens family, welcome to the Markham Gardens. Today we are beginning the progress on our greenhouse. So you guys know we've been wanting to build a greenhouse for a while. It's been in the process. It's been on the list of things to get done. It's just a matter of me getting my butt in gear and being able to do it. Today I've already picked up a little bit of lumber and I've got a post hole digger here. We're gonna go ahead and do some work with that as well. But I just wanted to bring you guys along for the process like I said I would. So if you look right here, I have marked on the ground. I went ahead and took some spray paint and I marked on the ground everywhere that our post holes are gonna go. So what I wanna do, guys, is I wanna dig at least 2 foot deep. So I'm gonna have a 4-foot wall that comes all the way up to here with the cattle panels that are going to go over the top, arch over the top from one side to the other. And so I want at least 2 foot depth to be able to sink this into the ground and to concrete these posts in. Now, I've heard a lot of differences here. In fact, I've even had a couple of structural engineers tell me that we have such a high sand content here that we actually don't need to do concrete. All I need to do is dig the holes, pop the posts in the ground, pack that sand back around there, and they said I'll never have an issue with it and never have to put concrete or anything. But guys, I don't know if I'm just a creature of habit when it comes to this, but I just cannot see putting in a structure without adding concrete. I went ahead and I purchased 8-foot poles. So I'm gonna have 2 foot below surface. I'm gonna use 4 foot above surface, and I'm gonna end up having a couple feet that I can just cut off. Let's get to digging this hole. Figures I'd run into a rock. Looks like we're gonna need a shovel to figure this one out. So the first thing we'll try is this here trenching shovel. I'm gonna see if I can get down around this rock. If I can't, I've got something that should bust that rock up. And I don't mean dynamite. Now I've got this. It's super heavy and should bust through this. Oh yeah. So it looks like it's actually concrete. So I'm gonna guess that the previous poles that were in here, it's probably the concrete that they were run into. All right, guys, so I've gone quite a ways into this hole and it's busted up a bunch of the concrete, but from what I can tell, this concrete goes pretty deep. So I don't know how deep he's actually done the footings for this pad. I have no idea, but I do know that I am on solid concrete in the bottom of this pit, and it doesn't seem to be narrowing out. It seems to be pretty thick just from the way it feels. And I am just about 1.5 feet deep. So I'm gonna go ahead and call it good for this one. If I'm already sitting on concrete as it is, and then I've got 1.5 feet of concrete in there, I think we're gonna be all right with one corner of this thing. So let's go ahead and move on to the next one, because this one's kicking my butt. Let's hope there's no dadgum concrete in this one. Well, that figures. There's concrete in this one too, which makes sense since it's a mirror image of this other one. So here we go. Let's try to at least get down 1.5 feet. All right, guys, let's hope that the rest of these don't have concrete sitting in them. All right, guys, so it got a little bit dark last night. I think I had gotten maybe 7 of those holes dug. So I came out this morning, went ahead and knocked out those other 3 holes. I'm sure you guys don't need to see me pounding on any more of these post holes out here. So anyway, I went ahead and finished these. Let me show you guys what we've got. So what I ended up doing was I dug these holes and then I made them right up next to, you can see I have them flush with the edge of this concrete. This way we've got exactly straight edges. You can see that this one over here is going to be just on the outside a little bit because I want that wall to sink down below this concrete on this end. And so I've gone ahead and flushed it with that one. I've also done the same thing with all the rest of these. I told you guys last night that I had already gotten all the lumber. And when I say that I got all the lumber, I did not get the lumber to actually frame the end walls. I just got the lumber that it would take to do the side walls. So both sides of our 4-foot walls, I went ahead and got the lumber for that. Let me show you guys. So you can see here what we ended up doing was I got a whole bunch of these 10 of the 8-foot 4x4 posts, all ground contact treated. And then I also got 8 of the 2x6s to run along the bottoms along the ground. And then I ended up getting 2x4 treated as well, 8 of those to go ahead and run around the top half of the wall. And these right here are what the actual cattle panels are going to sit on. So these are going to support the cattle panels at the top of those 4x4s. And this should complete both sides of our walls, and then I should be able to go ahead and lay in our cattle panels. Once we've laid in our cattle panels on top of these walls, you know, then we'll start looking at building the end walls and framing the end walls and going ahead and framing in for the fan and everything else. So what I've done is I had a couple cans of Flex Seal. And so what I did is I went ahead and sprayed the ends of these 4x4s with this Flex Seal that are going to be in the ground, and we're going to see if we can't make them last just a little bit longer. I'm not going to concrete the entire thing, but I am going to go ahead and dry pour about a half a bag of concrete into each of these holes, just so that there's an anchor on the bottom of these posts. And then I'm going to pack that sand in around them on the bottom, and we're going to see how that goes. Now, I've never seen anybody do that. Honestly, there may be some people out there that go, oh my gosh, this is gonna be awful. I know exactly what's gonna happen, guys. But I did talk to this structural engineer, and he said that should be fine. He said it'll anchor in the bottom, and then all that sand will keep it from pulling up out of the ground. I don't foresee us having any issues where it's going to yank this entire thing up off the ground, since it is going to be enclosed. So you guys can see here, I have basically sprayed these boards up to the depth that they'll be in with this Flex Seal. I've also sealed off the bottoms of the boards as well, so that we can get maybe a little bit more life out of them. And hopefully that'll do it for us. So anyway, guys, let's give that a shot, and I'm gonna go ahead and let this stuff dry, and we'll get them into the holes. So now what we've done is we've taken these posts and we have set them in the ground, and we've gone ahead and packed sand around them at the base. So don't pack it in too extremely tight in the very beginning when you first put the sand in there, because you will move the bottom of that post around, so you want to be gentle with it at first. After you've packed that in there really good and it's nice and tight, then we're taking the concrete. Let me show you here real quick. we're taking the half a bag of concrete and putting that here at the surface. So we're filling this up with sand just to the point where a half a bag of concrete will fill this almost all the way up to the top, still leaving a little bit of a cup here. That way the water can settle here on the top and go ahead and soak that concrete. And so you can see we've done that here on all of them. So we've done that on one side. Now we're going to do this here on the other side. But before we do that, we're going to go ahead and use the 3-4-5 method to make sure that we are square here on this end. And I will go ahead and put that on the screen so that you guys can understand how that works. All right, guys, so the way that the 3-4-5 method works is you're wanting to make sure that you've got one of your corners of this entire greenhouse, right? So that's what we're working on. So the wall would go out here. The next wall is going to go all the way out here. And then you've got your end wall, correct? So in order to get this thing completely square, whenever you set this post, you want to use the 3-4-5 method. And what we're going to do is you can use either 3, 4, 5 inches, or you can use 3, 4, 5 feet. It doesn't really matter. Just depends on the scale of what the building is that you're messing with, or the project. So what you want to do is you're going to say 3 inches. If one of these sides is inches, so for us, we've got a pole here, we've got a pole here. So what I wanted to do is measure from this pole out 3 feet. And then I'm going to draw a mark at 3 feet. Let's just say that that was at 3 feet on that board that went across. Now we're going to go to the end board here, and we're going to go ahead and measure from this post out, and we're going to measure out 4 feet, because that's part of the 3-4-5. So I'm going to put a mark on that board at 4 feet. So we've got a mark on the board at 3 feet, a mark at the board at 4 feet. Now, if this is perfectly square, the distance from the mark that I made, the 4-foot mark I made on this board, and the 3-foot mark that I made on this board, the distance should equal 5 feet. Guys, that's how the 3-4-5 method works. And it doesn't matter if you want to use 3 inches, 4 inches, 5 inches, or if you want to use 3 centimeters, 4 centimeters, 5 centimeters. You can use feet, you can use meters, so 3 meters, 4 meters, 5 meters. But if this side is 3 and that side is 4, this one, in order for these to be square, and that would mean you would take this post and you would move it either left or you would move it right, to make sure that the point from that 4 and that 3, that this line here equals 5, and then you know that you're square. And then all right, guys, so when you are setting your posts, you want to make sure that you are leveling them, right? So many of you have seen this. Those that haven't, just know you're going to need a level. You're going to want to make sure that that post is level on not only this side, but you're also going to want to make sure that it's level on this side. That way you know that you have a straight up and down post. Now you can see we've already leveled this one. In fact, this one's already been packed in and has already been concreted. But I just wanted to show you guys real quick, when you're setting these posts, don't just set them in here and eyeball them to see if they're straight up and down. Because what'll happen is if you get this post a little bit off to the left or to the right, then when you go and you put your sideboard in here and you try to set it here on the side of this post, and if that post is slightly leaning to the side, now that 8-foot board, there's a likely chance that instead of it being here in the center, it's going to be way off over here on the edge, and you're going to end up having a gap at the top and really tight at the bottom. So you want to make sure that you're using a good level to go ahead and level your posts and get them nice and straight. So we've got almost all of them in. We've basically got all the posts down the side. You can see all of them down this side except for this one, guys. And the reason why is because we had to move this one because my measurement was a little bit off. And so I had to move this, and wouldn't you believe it, when I had to move it, just like those other two, concrete. So I have recently purchased a jackhammer, so I'm going to show you guys how to use a jackhammer to get rid of that stuff, and we're going to get it where it needs to go. All right, guys, so we're going to bust up this concrete. I got the new jackhammer out, and should make a lot easier work than sitting there with that pole and just going crazy with it. So let's see how this thing works, guys. Started right out, yeah. Oh, guys, where was this thing when I was doing those other two? That was amazing. So we're done, guys. Let me show you real quick what we've got down in the bottom of this hole. Let me get you down in here. You can see, busted up that concrete like it was nothing, guys. And I hit on this thing and hit on this thing with that bar. Man, this jackhammer was worth it. So now we can get all this concrete out here and get this last pole set in. All right, guys, so now that we've got all of the poles in the ground, including the one with the pain in the butt concrete, I went ahead and added concrete to the top of those ones, got them packed in real good. They're all level, they're all good to go, as you can see. So now what I'm gonna do is, we have put dry pack concrete in the top of all these, no water added. And so what I'm going to do is go around with our water hose, and I'm going to go ahead and wet these areas. I want to get them not completely drenched, not really swampy, but I do want to add some water to them. I want to go ahead and get enough water that it does penetrate down through them. And that way they do get nice and hard here on the top of each one. So I'm going to do this to every single one of these as we go around. Well, guys, I think that's going to do it for this video. We went ahead and added the posts to the ground. We've got the foundation started at least, guys. I'm super excited about that. We've definitely got the holes in. We've got them packed in real nice, got the concrete added to them. Next step, guys, is we're going to be cutting these posts off at the top of the wall at the height that we want the walls to be at. Yet to determine what height we're going to do yet. I originally decided to do 4 feet, but I think we may just have enough of the polyethylene that goes over the top to go ahead and make them anywhere from 5 to 6 foot walls. So let's see how that goes. I'll decide before the next video. But anyway, guys, thank you for watching. I appreciate you coming along with us on this process. I'm so excited about getting the greenhouse up, and I thought, why do this and just keep it to myself? Figured I'd share it with all of you guys too. So hope you enjoyed it. Guys, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, if you would go ahead and hit that subscribe button for us, that way you don't miss any future episodes, especially of this project that we've got going here with the greenhouse. And if you did like the video, guys, if you would give us a thumbs up. If you didn't like the video, guys, if you'll just go ahead and give us a thumbs up, appreciate it. It definitely helps the channel and gets people coming to the channel more, and lets YouTube know that it's something that people enjoy to watch. So if you know anybody that is going to be putting in a greenhouse, if you'll go ahead and share this channel, share this video with them, guys, I'd really appreciate it. But anyway, guys, I'm going to sign off for today. The next time I come to you, we will be doing the walls. We're going to go ahead and start working on the walls of this greenhouse, and I'll bring you guys along with me on that process. So anyway, thank you guys for watching. See you in the next one. Love you. Shalom under the dome.